Hi, I thought I'd show you all my studio. This is where it all happens. This is my home. And this is where I create my music. So please come in. It's just a small room, but it all happens in here. But we've got a princess here. We've got Princess Anna, whose real name is Joya, and she's just come back from school. Made us a hedgehog today, didn't you? That was very good. That was very good. You're looking lovely, all dressed up. And you may recognise her name because I named the guitar Joya after Joya. So you're getting very big. You suddenly got, since I saw you last week, what's happening? Well, yeah, so this is it. This is where I create music. This is the magic corner here. This is where it all happens. So really, I sit in here when I'm recording, and when I'm filming my studio sessions, and I've got my Zoom camera here, very simple setup. Here I've got a preamp through there for the guitar. Then I've got a ribbon mic, an AEA ribbon mic. I've got a MyLab condenser mic. I mix those two. I've got a Logic Pro Plus, I think it's called there, which was all set up for me. Just put the phones on and just go in here, click the camera, and just work away. It's a fantastic thing to do. Sometimes I'll wake up in the morning and I'll think of a piece of music, or I'll create a new piece of music, and by the time I get down here I can actually start recording and getting it all together. It's a great position to be in. I mean I waited a long time to get this. I mean I've been a professional musician since 1973, 72, 73, and always wanted a studio of my own, a space where I could do this. Now it's so easy and relatively inexpensive for anyone to have a setup like this. So it's really fantastic. I waited a long time. Plus I've got all my guitars. Sometimes I might decide to play another guitar. Here I've got all three of these guitars are made by Mike Vanden in Scotland. This is one of my models. This is the Martin Taylor Artistry. That was the second one he made for me. I really like playing this. It's got a beautiful woody sound. This one is the Vanden Caprice. Very unusual because it's got a cedar top, which is really unusual for an archtop guitar. And if you have a look at the back here, it's just absolutely just gorgeous. Actually, I featured that on my website. It's a lovely little, lovely guitar. It's quite an unforgiving guitar. You have to have a very precise technique to play it, because if you make mistakes on that guitar, it'll let you know about it. And this is another Martin Taylor Artistry by Mike Vanden. This was actually the very first one that he made for me. Originally it was a dark sunburst, but he took the top off because it was a little bit too thin and put this one on as well. And sometimes I prefer that one, sometimes I prefer the other one. So what else do I have here? Oh yeah, this corner here. Now, my guitar mentor was a gentleman called Ike Isaacs. He played with Stefan Grappelli before I did. This is Ike here. Fantastic guy, beautiful human being, incredible guitar player and just musician. He was just wonderful. This was the guitar that Ike designed for aria guitars, and I got this many years ago. And then in the mid-80s I was completely broke, and I had a few guitars and I had to start selling my guitars off, and I was even thinking of quitting music completely because things weren't going very well. And I sold this guitar to a friend of mine, and all those years later he read that story in a book that I wrote, and he said, I've still got the guitar, so he said you can have it back for what I paid for it, which was £300, I think it was. So my wife Liz bought that back for me. So it's back here again. Now that is my dad's 1958 Hofner President. That's my dad there. My dad was more of a bass player, and so once I started playing guitar, he played guitar first of all. Once I started to play, he decided that he was gonna. He said he couldn't get a bass player, so I became the guitar player, and he became the bass player. My friend Cleo Lane, there. This is the first guitar I ever played. What's left of it. This is actually a Maton, or what's left of a Maton. A friend of my dad's, he emigrated to Australia in the 50s, and he came back. He only stayed there for a few years. He came back. He brought a guitar back, and this was this guitar, and I used to play it when I was a little kid. Unfortunately, he used to have a lot of wild parties at his house, and somebody sat on it one night at one of the parties. It was his wife. Got a little bit carried away, I think. I've got some gongs here, awards and things. That's when I met the Queen at Buckingham Palace, 2002. I've got the MBE, Member of the Order of the British Empire, Services to Music. That's the most nervous I've ever been in my life. It was an absolutely terrifying experience, but an incredible day. I like to keep little mementos as well of musicians I've worked with. There's a Stefan Grappelli, Sasha Distel, old picture of George Benson and me, Chet Atkins and me when I recorded at his studio. We did a couple of duo things together. Joe Pass, who I worked with a lot. That's a Grammy nomination up there from 1987 for an album I did with Stefan Grappelli and Vasa Clements, 1987. So yeah, I like to keep these things here. So this reminds me of what I used to look like. That was an advert from many years ago, and that's from my Sony days. Got a rack of guitars here. What have I got? Now, that one, actually this is quite rare because this is a Peerless Martin Taylor Maestro, but it's a Sunburst. There aren't very many of those. I've got one, and I've got a number of Maestros. I've got some more in other places. I've got guitars scattered all over the place, all over the world actually. And this is the Virtuoso. That's a Maestro. That's the one I played the most. This is a nice guitar. This is a really good straight ahead jazz guitar. This is the Peerless Monarch. What else we got? Let's have a look. Oh yes, this is a bit special. This is a 1929 Martin 00045, the holy grail of flat top guitars. I'll just put it there very, very carefully. It's not usually here. It's usually somewhere else, but I just brought it out because I wanted to play it. This is the Conde Hermanos that I've been having fun with. So I've never played classical guitars, not classical guitar, but a classical nylon string guitar. So I've been getting used to playing that and recording a number of things. I've got a record coming out soon of me playing that. That's my dad's bass guitar. This is a Godin synth guitar, so sometimes I do music for TV commercials and things I have done in the past, and because I can't play a keyboard, I need to do that. I've got a keyboard there because I work with a composer who comes in here, he brings his laptop in, and suddenly we've got the London Symphony Orchestra in the place. It's quite astonishing. Oh, this guitar here, this is a good one. This is a 1958 Clifford Essex made in London for Val Doonican, and British and Irish people will remember Val Doonican because I got this record when I was a kid, and I always wanted a guitar like that, and that's the guitar, that is the very guitar there. He was like our Perry Como, I guess, and had a variety show, extremely famous, and I got to know him, and such a lovely man. He gave me that guitar. He gave me not a guitar, the guitar that I used to watch when I was a kid on TV. That's a 1920s Gibson L4 Eddie Lang. This is the guitar I used to play with Stefan Grappelli. It's a 1964 WG Barker made by Bill Barker in Toledo, Ohio, 1964. The guitar I was playing in that picture there. This guitar is interesting because this was a guitar that I co-designed for Yamaha with Martin Booth, and it was called the AES 1500, no, AX 1500, and I had it completely customized because the reason I kept it was because I played it with Chet Atkins and he signed it for me. It's got a very nice inscription on there. I like to play mandolin sometimes. That's a Gibson A-style from that's 1918, and that one is again another Gibson A-style from 1908. This is the most beautiful of all instruments. This is a tenor banjo, and I've been having some fun playing this. So this is where I hang out. This is my haunt. This is when Tommy Emmanuel and we played at Folsom Prison in California. This is the classical guitar group at Folsom Prison. Yeah, a very interesting place to be. And I have other photographs here of people I've worked with and known over the years. Dolly Parton. That's Dolly. Me and Stefan a long time ago. That's me with David Grisman and Stefan and Rob Wasserman, Oscar Peterson. That's on tour when I was with Bill Wyman's Rhythm Kings. That's the band bus. Bill, Albert Lee. There's Bill smoking his cigarettes on the stage. Jeff Beck, the great Jeff Beck. That's when I was in the Great Guitars with Charlie Bird and Barney Kessel. Tal Farlow. That's at Samoas Yusen a number of years ago. That's David Reinhardt, Django Reinhardt's grandson, son of Babik. I used to work with his dad a lot. And Christian Escudé, another French gypsy guitar player. This gentleman was very, very famous in the UK, Bert Weedon. Lovely, lovely guitar player and lovely man. And of course the great man, Julian Bream, great classical guitar player. Of course they've come back here again to Val Doonican. I've got with the guitar and the album cover. Now I love this photograph. This is Louis Armstrong in 1956. He came to Scotland, played in Glasgow, and that's Louis Armstrong wearing a kilt. That's my younger son Stuart, who is a jockey, and it's a photograph I like to look at every day. Now, what else is there? That's kind of it really. So this is what I do. This is where I hang out, and I just wanted to show it to you so you get a little behind the scenes insight into my home and my studio. And this is where I'm making music for you all the time. I just feel very fortunate and privileged that I'm able to do this, and long may it continue.